Hello everyone, I'm Cody.
And I'm Liz.
And welcome to Unit 9, Squid Game. So, if you haven't already watched the show Squid Game, I encourage you pause. Go and watch it. It's your one warning. I won't say any spoilers, but today's topic is about the huge hit on Netflix, the international phenomenal show created by Hong Dong-hyuk, and you know, it's a masterpiece. But it's a very dystopian story about the divide between rich and poor and human greed and desire. A lot of deep things in a very childlike way, childlike setting. Dystopian.
Dystopian.
And so some people though think it's a little too grotesque, too violent, a little too much blood and guts and things like that. A little too brutal for many people. Grotesque.
Grotesque.
But this show is really popular and streaming in over 90 countries on Netflix. And thankfully, at least for the director, that Netflix saw the light and created this show. Because he had tried for about 10 years to get different South Korean production companies and networks to produce this show, but they didn't want to. They said it was too grotesque. But one thing that made this so popular was the fact that, you know, in this almost dystopian period of the pandemic for almost 2 years, the divide between rich and poor getting worse, the situation economically in many countries getting worse, it almost felt not too unrealistic.
Right.
You know, it was a little imaginable for people, and maybe it helped them ease their misery or situation and feel something interesting from the show. But stepping away from that, thinking of your life when you were a child, what was your favorite child game or children's game?
I liked to play outside a lot when I was little, and I grew up in a very small town. So we used to play tag, so running and catching people. I liked to run also when I was a kid, and hide and go seek. So we had lots of woods in our backyard, so there were trees and not caves, but good places to hide. And so I remember playing that a lot with my friends as a kid. How about you? What did you like to play?
Well, your two classic games are something I played as well. I think if you were born before 2000, your childhood was pretty much outside. After 2000, I feel like kids are just stuck inside. But yeah, I played those two as well, and I also played something called Red Rover, which I think most boys loved a lot. You know, you link arms, and then you got to run through the people's arms, break it. You know, not literally break their arms, break the hold. Try to go through. And if you're bigger, you got a big advantage. I was a little bit on the chunkier side when I was young, so I had a little bit of weight to push through. And the other one was London Bridge. I think that's the title or name of it. And you know, two people holding their arms up and down, they run through and you try to capture someone. Those are fun outdoor games that you would spend a lot of time, you know, lose track of time doing it. So, and final question, have you ever watched Squid Game?
I have not watched Squid Game yet. It's
okay.
on my list, but as you mentioned, it is very dystopian and grotesque, and I just haven't been in the mood to watch something like that recently. So I have been avoiding it for now, but I do plan to see it eventually. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, my fiance and I watched it together. You know, there were moments where she would close her eyes because it was a little too much. But I think for myself and many Americans, it was a little normal or unfazing. It's definitely not meant for every graphic.
American TV can be quite graphic and violent in some cases.
So you know, any viewer, be advised. It's gonna be a little bit graphic.
Not for the weak of heart.
Right. And now the language focus. First up, having plus past participle. So for my example, having learned Spanish in middle school, it really helped me learn French in high school.
Okay, and the next point is at one point. So for example, at one point in my middle school years, I wanted to be a psychologist.
Very young to say that.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for our preview section, and we'll see you on the review.